Well, as we move on, we're actually at the end of the peninsula, still by Farnhamville. Anyway, this is Whisker Creek, and this came out pretty neat. A friend of mine was on to me about completing this creek. I had the dry bed in there for a long time, but I finally poured some stuff we call Envirotech. We love using it the best. It works great. It never cracks, and it's very easy to work with. And I stood up some fly fishermen in there, so they're fishing the creek. And I just installed this Trident pickup truck not too long ago, and found a couple ladies that I could sit in the back of it, and they're waiting for their husbands, boyfriends, brothers, whatever, to get done fishing. And I tried to ripple the water. I used a little bit of some clear silicone. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the light's messing it up, but I tried to make it look like the water was flowing. So I stippled it, is what you could say, with a brush, and I kind of went over it with a dry brush to kind of highlight the ripples in the water. I don't know how good this comes out on the video. Hopefully you can see it. But I enjoyed doing this. This was a pretty neat little project. There he is holding up his fish. And if you look at the pickup truck, one of the ladies is actually looking down at him. And the other lady doesn't look very happy to be there. She's just got her arms folded in the truck. Mini scenes like this are kind of fun. And I wanted to show you, this is my gas station. I kind of kit bashed because the garage part was on the wrong end of the gas station, and I have the parts in there to detail it, and actually does have a roof that goes on there too, but I haven't put it on. And one of these days I might detail it. It's only been like this for 2 years. So, but one of these days I'll get to detailing on the inside, so maybe I'll show you when I get it done later on. I want to make some radiator hoses and fan belts and all that stuff hanging up on the inside of the garage there. So, but I'll get to it one day. We're gonna go on around the corner now, leaving Farnhamville, and we're gonna be at Summers here. And this is Tigger Bridge, and I really like bridges, but because of all the staging that I put under my layout, under the main deck, it was real difficult to build bridges. There just wasn't enough clearance above the rail cars, and getting the height clearance that I needed, so I couldn't put in as many bridges as I would have liked to. So really this is the only bridge besides the overpass over there in Marshalltown by the diesel facility. But I really like building these bridges, and this was a Campbell kit that I just took the wood out of and pretty much freelanced it. It was a kit I had probably for 10 or 20 years, I don't know. So I just basically took all the wood out of it and just built from the wood a freelance double, wooden trestle, I guess you could say. But I really enjoyed building that. And the rock, I forget what it's called. The abutments are just made from styrofoam, and instead of building them out of wood, I know a lot of them are built out of wood. I made it out of styrofoam and just etched like a block abutment. So anyway, I just try to do things different sometimes. Maybe it's not even prototypical, I don't know, but it looks like it captures the overall effect to me. So, and then you put a lot of riprap around the base of the abutments, and then plant some weeds and grasses. And this is a fuel oil supply. Tank cars are brought into here. Of course, every town has a lot of switching in it, probably more than what a typical little town like this would have, but the more switching the better, we say. There's another grain elevator, and that's from a Walther's kit, but I try to alter them so they don't all look the same. Changed the elevator look a little bit, and of Of course, I like painting them concrete color. There's a scale house, and I haven't scenicked around it yet or put the scale in. And then you get to downtown here. So we move into downtown. I'm really happy with the way my street backdrop came out. Really looks pretty good. And if you've seen some of my other videos, the backdrops make a huge difference. I used to try to paint them on the wall, but I'm not a very good painter, so there was a program that was offered a few years back, and we've been printing up the backdrops for them. If you go through them, you can find some pretty neat backdrops of buildings and the landscape, of course. But I really like the way this one came out. And this is downtown Summers, and there's a few little frontage, buildings there, stores and shops and whatever. And of course, all the switching to, this is a Northern Pipe Company and Mechanical Supply, and they receive stuff by boxcar and pipe on flats and engons and stuff like that. Now this road here is actually made out of plaster. I'm not real happy with the way it came out, but haven't had the ambition to tear it up and redo it, and I probably won't for a long time, because it's a little, if you look at it real close, it's a little bumpy. But it gives me the overall effect that I wanted. So, and I don't know if you noticed, the truck trailer actually built a pit for it. So when it backs in there, its tail end is even with the unloading platform. I've never seen these. I think they're out now, but I actually built a little dumpster out of styrene. I thought it came out pretty neat. Hopefully you can see that. But I built that dumpster out of styrene, scratch built it, and been meaning to make some more, but I haven't. It's the only one I made, and I need some around a lot of the buildings. And then that's I think that's some Walther's fencing there, and it sure helps a lot to break it up a little bit, clip here and there, make it look a little broken, and then lots of paint and weathering on it makes it not look so much like plastic. So as we move on out of Summers, there's well, the outside of Summers here, there's a little towing service. And this was a Woodland Scenics kit, and of course I didn't put it together the way the picture showed. I just kind of did it my way, and just a lot of junk around it, and threw the tow truck in there. I need to find a better tow truck, but it actually had my nephew's name on the side of it. This is one of those cheap little billboard signs, and I actually scratch built some lighting to go on it. I took the little plastic light, fake lights I had off the top of it, and mounted some, I don't know if you see them on the platform there, but mounted some incandescent bulbs that shine on the sign. It looks pretty good. It came out pretty well. And so as we go on around the bend here, there's a old farmhouse and a barn. So it was a farmhouse and a barn. And the barn I did not build. I won't claim that. A friend of mine built it, and he interior'd the inside of it really nice. See if I can pop the roof off for you. I don't know how well you can see that, but I've taken the roof off the barn, and there is an interior in it. He's made some hay bales out of some foam, and there's a horse in there being petted by the child there, and there's a little dog up in the corner standing on the box. And there's a lot of neat detail in there. There's a bicycle and so on, but it is pretty neat. He does a real good job on the interiors for me. So I won't I don't have the patience on doing all that stuff. I've done some interiors, but he's by far a lot better than I am at it. So, and it's a bright red barn. I'm probably going to weather the roof a little bit, but the rest of it's going to stay pretty much like it is. And all this surrounding area around it is going to be fenced off, and I've got a lot of cows to put in to make some pasture land out of it. And there's a tractor, seed planter, and this was a woodland scenic building that's already built. And boy, do I like them, since you know that I don't like building buildings. But it has so much detail on the outside of it. For the price, time you buy that detail and buy the kit, you're far over what this building cost already assembled with all the detail on it. So I thought it was a good bargain, so I bought it. And I had actually a wood kit farmhouse I was going to build to put here, but boy, I put that thing away in a hurry because I knew that was going to be a project in itself. And these are woodland scenic trees, and a lot of my trees are either woodland scenic trees that you have to build the kits, or they're all scratch built trees. You know, buying the foam and finding different things out in the yard to use for the tree trunks. I don't know if you can see, but I scratch built a little seesaw there, which was fairly simple. And then there's a cat and a dog getting into it under the tree right there. Let's see, you can see the cat and the dog, and they're going at it under the tree. And there's the tire swing in the tree. This is Barney's pond, just across the tracks from the farmhouse. And there's two fellers fishing in Barney's pond. There's one sitting up on the bank, and there's one standing by the shoreline, dropping their hooks, enjoying a day of fishing. And there's their pickup truck parked under the tree. And I tried to find a pretty good backdrop that would have some water in it. That was actually a much later addition